Hey tea heads, this is Don and Celine from Mayleaf. There aren't many sessions that get more indulgent than this. My most rare tea in my private collection is coming out to play. I have so many mixed feelings going on right now because...
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. What are we doing?
Giving that away.
Yeah, exactly. Because we announced in our video a few months ago, an 100K video, that we would release the most rare cake in my collection if we got to 105,000 before the beginning of July. We did just.
It was like, oh, maybe we keep it.
Yeah,
we keep it.
and I actually, to be truthful, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because that would give me an excuse to keep this cake. Because after we filmed that 100K video, I suddenly sat there going, what have I just said?
Yeah, you were literally like...
What have I just done? I've got 3 of these cakes, and this is the most rare and most expensive cake in my collection. What am I doing releasing this tea? But anyway, a promise is a promise. So here we are. This is the flipped green CNNP puerh cake. Now, let's talk about CNNP very, very quickly. I'm not going to do a massive deep dive because you could go on and on for ages. But a lot of you will have seen wrappers that look like this, right? This CNNP, which stands for China National Native Produce and Animal Byproducts Import and Export Corporation. So the story behind CNNP is that late 1940s, I think 1949, all of the tea factories in China were owned by the government. And the government basically created this brand, CNNP, also known as Zhongcha, which basically Chinese CNNP cakes, right? And so this wrapping was used throughout the ancient era or the old era of making puerh by these main factories like Menghai, like Kunming, like Xiaguan. All of these main factories, they were all producing under the CNNP wrapper. Right. And then in, I think, sort of the 70s, the wrapper changed and became Qizhi Bing, which basically means the 7 cakes in a tong. And so this is like a very classic wrapper with the green mark. You can also get blue mark, red mark, yellow mark. There's other marks, but the green mark is the most common. And then in the 80s, the system changed. So basically, the government was no longer requiring ownership of the factories, and so smaller factories started to create tea, and they would basically take the same wrapper. So they licensed the wrapper. The CNNP licensed the wrapper to anybody who wanted it.
Right.
And it was the anybody who wanted it that meant that the quality of CNNP wrappers or CNNP cakes basically started to become a free-for-all.
Right.
It could be,
like, could be good, could be bad.
Could be crap, could come from a big factory, could come from a small factory. They were all basically being produced. And it kept going in the 80s, the 90s, so this was sort of late 80s, I think.
Right.
So then you've got the 90s and the 2000s, where the CNNP could basically mean anything.
Right.
And that contributed to the bursting of the puerh bubble in 2007, because everyone was buying up these CNNP cakes thinking that they were, valuable, but in fact, the quality of a lot of them was not very good. And so nowadays, you'll see CNNP wrappers absolutely everywhere. If you go and search, you'll see CNNP wrappers all over the place, and the quality is a big unknown,
So those ones that are they still being made?
They're still being made. I think I might be wrong. There are other like factory tea heads that probably know better. I think in 2010, the CNNP wrapper got taken over by another company, which meant that at least it was consistent to one. You could judge it because it was consistent to one company. Although I still think that other companies are producing under the CNNP wrapper. And there's a lot of fakery going on where people are taking old CNNP wrappers and rewrapping cakes. So the takeaway is CNNP wrappers don't really mean anything these days.
Right, because of that.
You just don't know the quality. You don't know whether or not, what the quality of the original tea is.
Yeah.
You don't know if the wrapper has been faked or not. There's all sorts of nonsense going on.
But you could still get a really good tea, because it could be that there's one tiny factory that made an amazing one and baked it.
Totally. You can still get very good CNNP cakes.
That's interesting.
But if you think sort of pre-late 80s, CNNP was at least being supposedly made by the main factories, and was generally good quality.
So the main factories, they had a specific formula?
Well, the main factories, first of all, they were very well established. They had they had the main tea experts.
Sure.
And they were the ones that produced ripe tea first of all, right, in the 70s. So in the 70s, they started to create ripe pu'er.
Right.
By taking techniques borrowed from other provinces. And so, if you look at the original ripe pu'er cakes from the 70s and 80s, they were all going to be CNNP wrapper.
Right.
Okay, so these factories like Menghai, Kunming, Xiaguan, they have now created their own brands, their own labeling. So you've got the Dai, you've got the Xiaguan, like you've got the Crane, you've got all of these different wrappers that are specific because they realized in the 80s, 90s, they were like, well, we might as well just do our own branding so that to establish our own, name.
Especially because they're like, we've got good teas and no one knows it's good because everyone's using the same wrapper.
Exactly, everyone's using the same wrapper. Okay, so that's the basic background behind CNNP. So this is why you see CNNP everywhere. It's a very common wrapper to see. But if you can find CNNP from the 70s and 80s, then you're much more likely to get very high quality tea.
Right.
So let's talk about this tea. This tea was first sampled by us from a very, very old friend in Yunnan, deep in the pu'er game, and she basically sent us samples because we were saying, look, we want give us what special cakes do you have? And she sent us samples, and we really, really, really loved this sample, and then she basically said this comes from this cake, which is, she claims it's from the 70s.
All right.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Can't say for sure. And let me just be very clear about authenticity here. There is no way for me to ascertain authenticity. I know from my taste that this is good tea, in my opinion, and is old. But I can't tell you how old. I would estimate that this is either from the 70s or the 80s. You can see that it's got an unusual flipped green mark. So normally that green character is the other way around. And so clearly there's a mistake in printing. There's other mistakes. If you can see here, it's basically got mistakes here as well. So there's a load of mistakes on the wrapper, which is not uncommon.
Really?
It's not uncommon because, if this was in the 70s or 80s, then, there's just, they didn't know how to write English. They weren't doing a lot of checking. Even today, rappers have loads of spelling mistakes. Even today, there's loads of Chinglish everywhere. So it doesn't really mean yes or no. You can look at the fonts. People talk about the different sort of, fonts for these characters. And there are entire books written about how you could try to decipher it. Yeah. But you know what? Ultimately, you're never going to know. The way that it's wrapped is often talked about. If it looks messy like that, it's more likely to be old.
It was before they managed to do the nice, pretty...
Yeah, exactly. But then you could easily fake that, right?
That's true.
Just wrap it badly
and
say, oh, it's old. I mean, the insect bites here on the wrapper are always, a good sign that it's old, and the quality of the paper is very sort of thin, and you'll see it's quite fibrous. So, these are signs that it could be older.
Yes.
But you know what? I'm never going to be able to guarantee how old it is. All I can say is I love this tea from when I've tried it.
That paper is very thin. It does look like it's an old paper. And it's so crackly.
Yeah, you can see.
But then, who knows?
Well, so there are many stories about people taking old CNNP wrappers with insect bites and then rewrapping new cakes.
But then it wouldn't be there's a few layers here.
I know. It wouldn't be that perfect.
Yeah.
Because it is really right on the edges. I mean, that would be quite a spectacular rewrap job because it would fall apart.
Again, insects and animals just know the good stuff, don't they?
Well, they tend to eat the paper and not the tea. But
that's true.
Okay, so let's open this up. So I've got 3 of these cakes.
You know why I was thinking of that? Because I left durian outside and foxes came and ate the seed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what?
They ate the seed. That's some exotic... The foxes must have been like, whoa, there's some exotic fruits. Okay, so you can see the cake here. Let's look at this.
That's so thin.
Yeah, it has lost a lot of weight. It's a skinny one. So even though it's meant to be a 357, I've weighed these and they're 300 with all the wrapping.
Really?
So it's lost 50 grams.
So it must be quite old because that's a lot of moisture.
I mean, I have no doubt that this is a very old tea.
It looks very old.
People can make their own, decisions based on the pictures that you can see here, and I've put loads of pictures online, but I have no doubt this is an old tea. Okay, the Neife doesn't have a lot of information on it. It's just got the green mark label on it, and this as well. People like to look at these.
That paper smells good. I'm going to put hot water in this tea.
This is the classic, Chitsu little bit of information in there, but I'm sure that people would like to decipher them. You can see that it's been eaten by insects as well.
Yeah.
So there's insect bites on there. But my job here is not to say that this comes from the 70s or comes from the 80s. I think it is very old. That's all I can say. And we're going to taste it now.
Can I smell it?
Go for it. Have a schniftar.
Oh, it smells super clean and like a forest that wasn't damp. That was like actually warm weather. Oh, anyway, let's start.
It smells like betel leaf.
Oh, that's a good tasting.
Yeah, it's like Liu Bowie.
Yeah. Better.
So what we are going to do is we're going to break these up into, I don't know, 10 or 15 grammars, and they are going to be ridiculously expensive. And if you do not want them, that's perfectly fine.
It's fine.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I'm very happy for you to not purchase this tea.
It almost sounds like you're doing reverse psychology.
Yeah, I know, but I genuinely mean that. Like, I would love to keep... I'm obviously going to keep a chunk for myself, but I would love to keep more if possible.
Look, there's a bit of string here.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit...
Even the string looks old. It looks like hemp.
I expect that this is going to be a little bit rough and ready inside here, but the quality of the... I mean, it looks like it's fused together. Can you see that? Like, it really looks like it's sort of fused. It's sort of liquefied. You know, the tea created...
Oh my goodness.
A tea leather of sorts.
It's like a mummified tea cake.
It really is. I mean, this is definitely the oldest cake
Don't hurt yourself.
I have ever drunk.
That is dense.
Let me go in this way. This is going to be so hard for us to break.
Yeah. And also it's like precious. So you're like, I don't know. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Seriously though, that string looks like it was handmade.
Well, this is like literally going through like a relic from the past. If you believe the dating. And I think it's there or thereabouts.
It does look like it. I mean, even if it's the 80s, I'm like, that's amazing.
If you go online, I've put links to teas of a similar era as this is claimed to be, and their auction prices, so you can see how some mad auctioning going on.
Was it reversed?
No, I've never seen a flipped green mark ever. I've searched around for a long time, for hours and hours and hours, looked for a flipped green.
Maybe this is even more precious than you even think.
I've never seen it. Well, you know how it is with stamps, isn't it? It's like, you know, printing errors make it more precious.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've never seen it.
Imagine it's like £10,000 in auction and you're just like, da-da-da, we're gonna drink the tea.
Well, it's going to be one of those who knows what it's worth in auction.
Yeah. But then it just ends up in a museum and you can never drink it. So, you know, tea was meant to be drunk. Anyway.
Well, we're doing it now.
Yeah.
No turning back. Okay, let's see how much we've got here. Okay. You can see I'm being a bit more conservative than usual.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm going to say we want about 8 grams.
Wow.
All right, yeah, let's do this. That's 9.4.
I'm going to imagine I'm an empress of China and I'm about to have my tea.
Okay, that's probably too much. 13. Let's take off a couple.
Yeah.
All right, 111, 11.1.
Lovely.
Some of that's going to get poured away because of the fact that it's dusty.
Oh, you like that number because it goes, it's 3, I guess, It's not
it's got good symmetry about it.
Good symmetry about it.
Now that symmetry's been ruined. Oh, I put more in and the scale didn't change. Weird. It's so light.
112.
112, there you go.
Is that good enough? That makes 4. Don't like that, do you?
Don't like 4.
Yeah. Take a bit off.
No, add a bit.
Add a bit.
There you go. 117. Oh, like that.
7, 8, 9. Ah, you like 9, yeah.
Like 9s. All right, here we go.
Right. Can I put it
Just
in here?
Asian number superstition. Have you warmed that up?
Yeah.
Okay, we have to do this super carefully. Oh, we can just pour it in like that. Oh, yeah, okay. We're not going to break up anymore. Go in the whole lot, even the dust.
No, but it fell over. And I was like, ah!
We're meant to display it here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't get it. I was
okay.
like,
it's all right.
I'm so sure. Oh, no. Ah!
It's okay. The cake's fine.
It's just
the
our
tray.
expensive
Just the
weighing
chancellor.
device.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have to be calm and serene and imperial.
Yeah.
Where's our dear? Let's be as calm
And serene as our dear. Our dear
our
can be
dear.
called serene. Okay?
All right. I can smell it already.
All right.
So, scope this tea.
Yeah,
Let's
scope it.
scoop it. Season. Poof. 70s, 80s is our
Just like
best
that.
guess. Cultivar, Daechong. Origin. Poof. But this is most likely, I don't know, to be honest with you, because it's going to be a blend. And then, it's a blend of buds and leaves, and the elevation is, I don't know. So there you go. It's a very unknown scope.
Lovely. Can we smell it?
Go for it. Schnifter away. Where's the towel?
Okay, here.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Okay, in the mode. I'm in China, smelling vintage.
You're in the 1980s in a factory in China.
Wow. I actually get Longan coming through.
So excited.
Exactly, like, this is the nicest vintage smell I think I've ever smelled.
In a way, I kind of hope that I don't absolutely adore this because it's going to be even more painful.
Oh, then don't smell it.
Here we go.
It's got a bit of fresh dadzao. Now that we've tried it,
It's got
recently.
fresh dadzao, Longan.
Longan.
Got that.
And then there's obviously that antique thing going on, but it's very much like a forest that has not been wet in a while. You know, it's got that very vibrant forest smell.
Yeah,
to
but
it.
I'm getting a lot of depth. I'm getting much more leathers.
Are you? Let me try.
So many.
When you're ready.
Leathers, betel nut, some ginseng,
I'm kind of salivating.
a bit of milk chocolate. I mean, if you imagine what you would want a ripe puer to smell like, an old ripe puer, so full and rich, clean, no mustiness, and just leathers, antique woods, fruits, herbs.
It's got cotton to it as well. Like someone, again, and it's like bringing me to a Chinese village in ancient days where they have like nice cotton clothes and it smells like freshly washed cotton.
Yeah, there's definitely a freshness about it too. Definitely. Let's look at these leaves hiding in there. Oh my God.
I'm so excited.
I mean, it's like, if the dating is right, and I'm going to just continue with this video without putting that disclaimer in, okay? Because I think the dating is right, 70s to 80s. So I'm just going to forget the disclaimers. This has that, this is going to be rehydrated after 40 years of sitting, waiting for water.
Do you smell a bit of sandalwood?
Sandalwood, for sure.
It's like...
For sure. And it's got a florist smell to it as well. Like walking into a hot, humid florist.
That's true,
that
actually.
Just plant. I mean, it's amazing. Like vetiver oil. Is it vetiver? Vetiver? I don't know.
I think it's vetiver.
All right, let's rinse it. Let's wake these leaves up.
All right.
After 40 years of slumber,
Oops. Here you go, leafy leaves.
Okay, let's leave that for a few seconds and then the deer will get the first honor.
There's a certain tenseness about drinking this tea.
Tension.
Tension. Intention and tension.
There is. As I said, you always want an amazing session, but I kind of hope that I'm not going to freak out like I think I might. Okay, go.
Thank you. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
There's tamarind
Ooh.
and ginseng and chocolate.
Like.
Oh.
Tick, tick, tick. Oh my gosh, even just here, the smell. Oh, Frangelico.
I really love this smell.
Frangelico and leather.
I love Frangelico.
Oh no, what have I done?
I'm just amazed that I'm like,
oh no, can we just
this.
rewind time?
Yeah, guys, actually, we're not gonna give this tea away.
That is the most amazing smell.
It's something special. Oh
It's
no, don't cry.
It's everything. It's everything you want in a rye.
It's like, yeah.
I'm getting creams and chocolates. I'm getting nuts, hazelnuts, betel nuts, Frangelico liquor. I'm getting leather. I'm getting suede. I'm getting antique woods. I'm getting ginseng. I'm getting betel nuts. I'm getting that not wet forest, but I'm getting that forest note as well. That freshness, forest. Late summer, early autumn, when it's starting to get
100%.
cold. It's starting to get cold, but it's not gotten into that sort of dampness yet. It's still dry. It's been a hot, dry summer, and it's just redolent with just this nutty, foresty, woodsy nature. It's
amazing.
So good.
It's amazing smelling.
It is so good. Suffering here.
It's got a certain freshness with all these deep notes. It still has a little bit of the sandalwood coming through.
Yeah.
And the vetiver. But there's all that extra, the what did I say? That fruit, that dried fruit?
Longan.
No. The
tamarind.
Tamarind. It's
yeah.
that tamarind ginseng that comes through on top of everything.
I'm picking up hay like that late summer. Again, dried grass hay. It's very, very dried down and concentrated. And that chocolatey note is moussey. It's light. It's sort of creamy. It's like chocolate mixed with cream.
And oat bars. You said a nut earlier.
Betel nut, hazelnut.
Hazelnut. It's like hazelnut and pecans. Maybe not pecans.
Not
actually.
pecans.
No.
I don't think
No,
pecans.
not pecans.
More hazelnuts, betel nuts.
Yeah.
It's a rich fog of incredible ripe tea. Just genius. It's a genius smell.
It's definitely chocolate moussey.
Yeah, chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
It is indulgent and adult at the same time.
Can we have it?
Yes, please do. I'm a bit devastated right now. Go on, brew it up. Let's go. Is that hot water?
Yeah. I was just checking.
Okay. Let's wake these leaves up. Can you pour some water on the...
Yeah.
Niching. So we're bringing in niching because I want to like really celebrate it, but I want it to be a little bit more transparent than if we were doing Zhen Shui or Zeni.
Makes sense. Good call on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let the spirit of the tea emerge.
Yeah. I mean, it is crazy to think that if that is as old as it smells.
Oh, it is.
It's like some farmer, or maybe not a farmer, maybe a whole array of farmers and people.
It's a blend. It's a blend.
It's
sure. This is old stuff.
It's
man.
exciting.
This is old stuff. The color is vibrant. The color is alive. The color is like a deep rosewood resin.
Yeah.
It is.
In between Coca-Cola and wine,
wow.
red wine.
Can they see that? I don't think you can't see it.
That's so frustrating. Hang on. If I use my phone and I light
torch it?
Yeah, because that is beautiful. Oopsies.
And go underneath. Let's see if we can bring that here.
Ah, that's so frustrating.
It's kind of annoying. It looks too yellow here.
Yeah,
it's so red.
So red. It's like such a caramel red.
Why is it not?
It's like hibiscus and caramel.
That camera is not doing it. The color on it is not right. It's a deep rosewood red resin color. Let's see if that camera up there will pick it up.
Oh yeah, good idea. I mean, it's better.
Well, it is a gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous.
And it's very
colour.
bright. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have an old mustiness to it in terms of look.
It's so beautiful.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Flipped green.
The moment.
Been sitting like these precious cakes in my cupboard.
Oh.
Texture is oily and thick,
Oily.
and yet has a lightness to it. Has an energy to it.
Yeah, it's not like those thick puers. It's very oily.
It's oily
Way
but
more
light.
Oily and light.
It's a light oiliness to it.
Yeah.
It's not like a heavy oiliness to it.
No. And the lingering aftertaste.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, don't worry.
Hazelnut. This is Nutella.
Oh. The way you went, it's Nutella. You're like a 4-year-old going.
The aftertaste is like chocolate hazelnut spread.
Yeah, it's true. When you said that, I thought, yeah, that's true.
Wow. Been a while since I've consumed Nutella. It's a wonderful combination of brightness and creaminess, nuttiness, and woodsy leather antique. It has a great whole spectrum.
Yeah. And it's like all the flavors mingles together.
Okay, we got a problem.
Yeah, sunlight.
Okay, we had to pause the camera for a second because, as you probably saw, there was the sun decided to make an appearance in London, which was pretty unusual.
Didn't think it was going to happen today. Hence my jumper.
Exactly. And so that was going to mess up our lighting. So we had to pause, but we're back. And that was a rude interruption for such a magical moment.
Literally, you were like, oh my goodness. And then you looked and went, what's
going on?
What's going on?
I would have hated that during editing. Like this light. Oh, sorry.
My precious tea!
There's something telling us that we shouldn't release this video.
Yeah, it's like...
Again, I'm taking it as a sign. This was a mistake. I should hold on to this tea. Sorry about that. All right, let's focus again.
Cheers. So I get a lot of sweetness as well.
So much sweetness. Yeah,
I was going to say, I think we're not talking about it enough because it just feels like obviously because we're just tasting this rock sugar sweet.
Raw rock sugar sweetness.
Delicious.
Still some chocolate in there, like that chocolate hazelnut spread, aka Nutella for those who want brand names. It's always been imitated, isn't it?
Yeah. Also a bit of pine going on, you know.
Yeah, pine.
Quite fragrant.
Pine cones, resin.
Yeah.
All the other notes still apply: leather, hay, betel nuts, frangelico. It is beyond words amazing.
Do you get a bit of
such an amazing
Coca-Cola sweets? You know, there's Coca-Cola bottle sweets.
A tiny bit, yeah. I tell you what, I pick up is a bright, almost to the point of zesty quality to it as well. Maybe pomelo.
Not quite, I would say. A bit more. It's almost effervescent. Not effervescent. What's the word? It's almost like there's an evaporating zestiness in the mouth.
Yeah, it's after you swallow.
It's definitely after you swallow.
There's a little citrusy element, which is surprising given the supposed age of the tea.
Yeah.
But what's surprising about the tea is, yes, it's got all of those rich notes that you would expect from a really good ripe puer, but it's got that lightness to it. It's got a lightness which is so
It's kind
amazing.
of bizarre to like get that lightness, but so much complex flavor in it, and you still like. I still feel like we haven't teased out all the flavor notes.
It is worth me saying, but I'm sure you would not make this mistake if you happen to come across this tea.
Yeah.
You better brew lots of I mean, I would be like the poor police would be around your door if you only stopped at 12 infusions on this.
No.
You go. This is the whole day.
Plus,
this is a whole day of
you
drinking.
may get lots of tasting notes that we're not getting if Don releases it.
Okay, let's at least have 2 more infusions here.
I'm going to keep drinking this tea all day long.
Oh, I know, but let's have 2 more infusions in front of the camera because this is already over a half an hour video.
Sorry, guys.
No,
Girls,
I mean, this
guys,
is the way it is,
everybody.
isn't it? This is such a specialty.
Yeah. I don't even want to throw... You know, usually I like to get the dust out, but this time I'm not going to... Oh, here you go. On your bum. I don't even know how long to brew it. Because I'm like, part of me is thinking short, not too long, so I can get all the flavor notes. And another part of me is like, I want to see how oily it gets.
Let's talk about the finish. It's
got that vaporous note.
Very vaporous, yeah.
But there's a lingering aftertaste, which I really like, obviously. Don't like it to be too fleeting. But no, there is a vaporous note. Almost mentholy, but without the taste of menthol. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, like that freshness.
Yeah.
All right, second infusion.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Oh, it's so thick and soft. It's so oily. It's
I get more vetiver.
It's like... it's almost like, again, moussey in its thickness. It's like it's thick but still airy. I can't quite put my finger on it.
100% like the best chocolate mousse you can get, where there's no like weird feeling in the mouth. It's just quite like a cloud. One of those cloudy desserts.
It is definitely a cloudy.
But it's like it's morphed a little bit. I get more of the like flowery notes than I did earlier in the first infusions. I can't tell you what flowers, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, I don't really get flowers. I get like foresty notes. I get the stream, like forest streams and resin notes. I'm not quite sure which flowers you're talking about.
It's almost like it's a lots of different flowers in a forest, you know? It's like it got a fragrance. Maybe it's not flowers, more like herbs.
Oh, there's lots of herbs, for sure. There's tons of herbs in it.
I think it's because I'm thinking of those coriander flowers that are growing in my garden, and sometimes I put them in my food.
Okay, so
and
more of the herbal meadow mountain flowers.
Yeah.
Feeling a rising heat.
Oh my goodness, it reminds me of the fudge from yesterday.
It's got a fudgy quality for sure,
like
a really high quality fudge.
Fudge, yeah.
It's just, you almost don't want to talk about it. Like it's just, it is just one of the most fabulous ripe puers. And I remember when we tasted the sample, in Greece and so we had really bad water.
Very bad water.
And it was just like, oh, this tea's good, but what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we worked out it was the water.
Yeah.
And then when we tried it with good water.
Yeah. It was like the ghost of the tea.
Yeah.
But not the actual tea.
It was remarkable.
It was kind of weird how it was
remarkable.
Like yeah.
So again, lots of infusions and make sure you get really good water. Like this is one.
Man,
this is important. I don't know how much it's going to cost for a session, but it's going to be expensive. So you're going to really want to make sure you choose the right time to do it and you have all of your stuff laid out and you've got like good water and you don't just make it chaotic like we always do.
No, make it a proper empress session.
Yeah, for the emperor and the empress that you most certainly are. Okay, let's smell this empty cup.
Oh my gosh, I haven't finished. Still oily, by the way.
Oh.
I get a bit more on the buttery notes now coming through.
Over maltine.
Oh, what? Let me smell.
Over maltine. Chocolate malt, but with somehow a little char to it.
My goodness.
Over maltine.
It's 100%, but like the chocolate bar.
Yeah, over maltine chocolate, dark chocolate, over maltine dark chocolate. Is it dark or it's normal?
It's the normal one.
Which is always a bit dark.
The original.
I tell you, you're not meant to release this tea. Let's brew one more. Let's brew one more.
I've broken so many things.
And then I think we can
Get
brew
scared.
some and then we'll come back.
Okay, sounds good.
The sweetness in my mouth. I thought that Grandmaster Ripe was like the pinnacle of ripes.
Yeah.
This,
I still put it up there.
it
But
is,
like,
it is way, way, way up there. It is like one of the greatest ripes of all time, in my opinion.
yeah.
This
Why do you
is
put this one next to it, though?
It is just exemplary. It is... And you think that again, if it is dated correctly, then this is basically one of the first productions of ripe puer ever. I mean, it's like within the first 10 years of ripe puer production.
Wow.
Probably, or 15 years of ripe puer production.
We're fully tasting history.
This is fully tasting what ripe puer tasted like. And it's like unbelievable to me that, oh my God, it tasted that good. Okay, it's had 40 years of aging.
Yeah,
so you
but,
wonder
yeah.
how much how it tasted when it was like 5 years old. But damn it, they were fermenting amazing tea back then.
Yeah, but I was just thinking just now, like, because it's got that lightness. Maybe it wasn't fermented as much as they fermented now, because
Quite
now
possibly.
it's very thick and like
They might push it too
chocolate
hard.
and
Push it too
caramelly.
hard now.
But that means that the ones from now, in like 30 years' time, is gonna be insane.
Possibly, or maybe that you really want to try to have more light fermented puers in general, so that it has more of that propensity for aging.
Right.
I don't know.
That's
lots
interesting.
of things that need to be eked out over the decades. We've got to figure them out over the decades. Tea is certainly not like for the was it short term for the short term learner. It's like let's
like-
wait 30 years and then we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, here we
It's
go.
interesting. Something took the cover off the roof. Weird.
Like properly took it off.
Yes.
It's an animal.
We got cheeky animal. Anyway.
But literally just took the
Yeah.
entire blanket. We put a blanket over the sunroof outside. And someone just literally just took it off.
Is that fox
I'm
having a
telling
bit
you,
too much
this
durian?
is something about this session. Anyway,
Well,
so smooth, so oily, so sweet, so chocolatey, so herbal.
so fresh.
Dried fruits, pomelos. I'm still going with pomelo. Zinginess in the finish. It is a full spectrum behavior tea that is just remarkable. Oh, look at the reflection of the liquor in that. Oh, that is a beautiful picture.
Take a picture. Mind picture.
I'm going to take a picture of that later. That is
It's
beauty.
beautiful.
It looks oily and iridescent, doesn't it? Okay, we're going on and on about this tea,
Sorry.
but really what we should say is it's not that great, is it?
Nah, you don't want it.
You don't want this tea. You really don't want this tea.
You don't want this
Just
tea.
forget it. Forget it.
Love how we try, like they don't know, like they don't know us.
Seriously, this is ridiculous.
You're not gonna release this video, are you? Just like everybody forgot about
This
it.
is just for us. This video.
Yeah, we passed it.
I'm sure people will. I'm sure people will forget.
I doubt it. Sorry to say.
Let's assume not. Anyway, let's assume you're still watching. I have no words. Every time the liquor hits my mouth, it is just the most luxurious feeling.
It's very luxurious.
It's so soft and so oily and so smooth.
It reminds me of the first time I had ginger May, where I was like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Has that,
Oh, a bit of cinnamon on the nose. Little touch of cinnamon coming through. Oh, it is the most amazing mouthfeel.
I guess
And I don't mean it in
again.
the sort of, I don't mean it in the, it's very physical. I mean it is like luxury. It's like I've taken the most incredible high quality satin
Yes.
and like my tongue and all of my mouth has become embroidered with satin. You know, it is so
Embroidered.
slippery and smooth.
You know what I was thinking as well? The body effect. I find that it's already quite zenifying.
Zenify.
You know
that's a new word.
You know how when we burn the sandalwood, we have
Yeah.
it had an instant bubble effect of zen.
Yeah.
And that tea, for me, it has that effect as well. I feel like I'm in a bubble of calm.
So we talk about the cha-chi, the energy of tea, but we don't often talk about the spirit of tea.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing.
If you want to go there, which I feel like I want to go there.
Do it.
This tea is just
oh my gosh.
emanating the most incredible spirit of tea. And I just felt inside it still lumps. It still bumps.
Really?
Oh, there are so many brews. There are so many. I mean, we've had 3 or 4 infusions. This is going to be 25.
It's almost
25 infusions.
It's almost like it's just wet the leaves, you know? It's just... Should we put on that scoop?
And I bet it's going to become even brighter as well. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Should I put more?
No, it's fine. All right, we're going to go away and we're going to come back just in about 3 or 4 infusions to let you know our final thoughts on this terrible tea that you should definitely not buy.
This
it is
like
so good.
holiday.
I can't believe it. We can't do this. We can't do this. How can we do this? This is one of the best teas I've ever tasted.
We've only got 3.
All right, we're back.
Okay, it's on.
We're back.
We're talking about the bodily feeling.
The bodily feeling.
The bodily feeling.
Yeah, go on. So how are you feeling?
I was saying that it made me feel quite mind elevated. Like I've had something different from tea. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Certain mind elevation high. Yeah. You?
Yeah, I'm getting a rising feeling, unusual for ripe puers actually, but the rising feeling is not a rising feeling of an energy that is going to make me jump up and down and run around. It is, like you say, more of an elevated, inspired feeling. It feels like I'm filling my mind up with a peaceful, vibrant energy.
Yeah.
I feel very at peace considering I'm thinking of not giving this tea away, but I'm thinking of releasing this tea. I'm remarkably peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah,
considering that.
I know you're remarkably peaceful because you're also thinking, well, this might not happen anyway. But
that's possibly true too.
It
is a very interesting feeling.
Yeah.
It's very meditative is a word that's often overused, but I can imagine really enjoying just sitting in the garden and just staring out into space.
100%. It feels like it puts you in a holiday mode. Do you get like a certain kind of, but it's not a buzz, it's like a nice tingle in the back of your head, almost like someone's come with one of those head massage.
Like you're wearing
lightly, you know?
Yeah, like you're wearing a slightly fuzz helmet.
Yeah, and then in the front of my eyes, I feel slightly heavy, like I've had a hit of something. You know, it's like an interesting mix of the two. Like, I like that a lot.
I don't feel heavy, but I feel relaxed. I feel like my eyes, I feel like I'm not frowning.
You're definitely not frowning.
I feel like everything is just...
Am I frowning?
No.
Oh.
A very, very powerful body sensation, but in a very gentle way. And that speaks for the entire experience here. Incredibly powerful, rich flavors, but in a very wonderfully light and breezy way. The liquor, deep and rich, but has a vibrancy and a lightness to it. A lightness of touch is what is the hallmark of this tea.
I also feel like I'm tasting the resin of a tea tree.
The flavor on it And you know that it's just going to keep changing and developing as well. I mean, 6 infusions, 7 infusions we've had, and it's just
opening.
Just opening.
Yeah.
I really think you're going to get 25 plus infusions out of this.
100%. I'm going to go with 32.
Whatever it is, reserve the whole day. Reserve the whole day. Okay, so that's it. Our flipped green is even, I would say, 5 times better than I remember the sample being.
Yeah.
Maybe even 10 times better. It has blown me away, which is a beautiful, wonderful thing overall. There's a slight little reticent about how am I going to actually let this out of my collection.
It might just be 3 samplers.
Yeah, so maybe we just break 1 cake.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll happen instead of all 3.
One. Yeah, not all 3. Not all 3.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you share the same fear that I do. Anyway, that's it. I hope that if you get to taste this tea, you really enjoy it as much as I think you will. And if not, then we will be always on the search for other specialties like this.
Always.
And if we can buy more, then we will buy more so that we can share with others out there.
For sure.
That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos. Taste our teas wherever you are in the world by browsing mayleaf.com, and come visit us if you're ever in London. Other than that, I'm Don, and this is Celine from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the mind-blowing stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea.
Bye.
Bye.